Welcome back to another episode of More Than a Mortgage, where we talk about real life situations that happen to us on a daily basis, to you on a daily basis, and we also really like talking about creating wealth for our real estate agents, our clients. It's a big piece of our show. Follow us. We got a lot going on in social media right now. We got a lot going on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube at More Than a Mortgage Pod. I'm here. I'm Mike Black. I'm here with my significant other.
There you go, right? Partner in crime, if you will, Tom Merritt.
And I'm excited about this topic today because it's just something that nobody ever really talks about.
I don't even think people realize it. Even when you bring it up, I think they start to recognize or see it. But it's definitely something that is very intriguing, and I think can really help people with regards to really their business, their personal life, and really anything in general.
Totally. What are we talking about?
Well, there's lots of different terms, but what do we call it? Recovery speed?
Recovery rate.
Recovery rate.
The rate at which you recover. I mean, that can mean...
You mean from like breaking a leg, or you mean like getting hit or something? Or
No, not at all. What we're talking about is when you're in sales, what is your recovery rate? Someone taught me that a long time ago, and how quickly I get back on track and how quickly I focus. And I think that's what really separates the top producers in this business, whether it's a realtor or a lender, from the ones that just struggle.
100%.
Right.
And you say in sales, and again, I definitely agree. I think that's probably where, if you're good, you're going to get rejected probably 70% of the time. So it's a lot of rejection. It's a lot of people obviously not working with you. And so how quickly can you recover? But I would venture to say in real life, that comes along too. I mean, especially even in our field, someone putting offers into homes, which we're dealing with right now, super competitive. We've got multiple offers on homes, sometimes double digits plus. And obviously, there's only one person that can win. So how quickly can you get back on that horse, get back out there, and understand and recognize what you need to do to be successful?
Everybody celebrates the wins, the record-breaking closing months. They celebrate, when they win the deal, but they don't really talk about what the loss does to them mentally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding you, I went 0 for 7 3 weeks ago. 0 for 7 on multiple offers. I was frustrated as can be because I spent the whole weekend doing nothing but putting scenarios together, calling listing agents, really diving deep into like helping my clients win, and we didn't win a single one of them.
Pretty discourage. So
especially
you took the next week off.
Especially when I walk in the office on Monday and one of our LOs had 4 contracts. I think you had a couple. I was like, well, what happened this weekend, right?
What did I do?
So I could have let that absolutely ruin my week, right? Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people do, is their confidence all of a sudden drops and they let it interfere with everything else they have to do to keep their business moving.
Yeah, I think you get what do they call it? Just tunnel vision with regards to what went wrong, and all you do is dwell on it. And as a result, you can't focus on whether it's the next deal, the next job, the next thing that you need to get done in order to be successful. The reality is the successful people take that, compartmentalize it, and put it on the back burner and move on. Because there's nothing you can do with it. It's in the past, you lost, move on.
Yeah. So what did I end up doing after that? I ended up just scratching it off as a loss.
You didn't take the week off to recover.
I didn't take the week off. I came in and worked really hard that Monday. We had a really good week in the office that week. The following week, we went 4 for 6. The following week after that, we went 3 for 5. And I think we've got a good chance of going 4 for 6 this weekend. So we win more than we lose, and I know that going into it. I already know that we're going to lose in this market. I don't like putting up a goose egg. That stinks, but it's going to happen.
Well, I think the one thing, and obviously we have a lot of experience in terms of years in the job and understanding how things are, but I think one of the things we've talked about in the past is it's a numbers game. And the reality is the numbers are going to play out the way they're going to play out. It's like, baseball, probably the most statistical sport there is. They have the batting average. There's nights you go 0 for 4, but then there's nights you go 4 for 4. And the reality is it's similar in our business, whether that is winning a deal, whether that's, getting a client to work with you. And you just got to be able to recover quickly, which is the whole purpose of this conversation, so that you can be as effective as possible and keep creating more wins and losses.
So we're talking about multiple offers, but this goes even as far as, like you just said, a client chooses not to go with you.
Mm-hmm. Has that ever happened before?
Oh, all the time. A client chooses not to go with you. I hate it. I hate losing. I've always been super competitive my whole life, but that could literally derail your whole day, especially depending on how they break up with you. Did they ghost you? Did they send you a nice thank you for all the hard work you did for me?
Dear John letter?
We decided to go a different way. Email?
But I'll refer you.
Which never ever happens. No. That is what we're talking about. When you have a loss of any sort in this business, and it could even be like a problem that you have on a deal, because the deals are all hard right now. We ran in that yesterday. We had a LO in our office that had a closing at 3, and there was an issue with it, and we had to get it fixed. She's like, I'm going to throw up. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And that was her whole morning feeling like that.
Probably most of the day.
Most of the day. So I said, go prospect, go do your job. Let me take care of it. We got it fixed, right? We're always going to get it fixed some way, shape, or form. It's just she didn't recover fast enough and let it ruin her whole day. Now, it's better than ruining her whole week. I mean, I would say like 3 hours at most is what my recovery rate looks like. Sometimes I'll go outside, I'll take a walk. Sometimes I'll, call my parents just to say hi. I feel like whenever I have like gratitude and love and I just take my mind off of work, my recovery rate jumps up really quick.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 parts of that recovery. I think it's the before and the after. Before in some cases, and similar to the experience that you just talked about yesterday with our LO, it was the paralyzing fear and, before the event happened, like it was the unknown. And so it wasn't necessarily a recovery. It's really an understanding of you can either go about your day and do what you need to do and control what you can control, or you can let it paralyze you and not be effective. At the end of the day, unfortunately, most people get paralyzed and as a result are not productive. And I'm a very, very strong believer that no matter what, things are going to work out. It may not be the way you think it's going to work out, but it will work out. And in this case, it worked out. It probably wasn't exactly the way we thought it would work out, but the person closed, they're happy, everything is good, and we move on. And so it's almost a pre-recovery, if you will, or a pre-preparation.
She's going to have a good day today for sure.
100%.
Because it all worked out. And sometimes it doesn't work out, right? Sometimes you got to have hard conversations around deals going south or problems that come up. But I find if you tackle those problems head on right away versus letting it drag is part of the recovery rate. The longer you don't confront the problem you let it go and you don't confront it head on, the longer it eats at you and eats at you and eats at you and destroys your day. So, it was the only thing that our LO could have done differently is just tackled it earlier when we found out about it. But it was like a Friday. I don't like delivering bad news on a Friday. I hardly ever do it. It's like part of my rules. Mantra. It's part of my rules with clients. But I'll call them on a Saturday or Sunday and say, hey, we got an issue. I just want to tell you about it. I think we're going to get it fixed. But that all of a sudden feels better when you confronted the problem head on and not let it eat your whole day up.
Yeah, and again, we're talking prior to obviously the event, and so I think the other side that is a good tactic is solutions, right? Coming up with what are viable solutions if in the event it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. And we fortunately had other solutions. Now they weren't ideal, but we knew no matter what, this deal was going to work. It's just a question of how and when.
Yeah.
And so I think that helps to, pacify it. Doesn't make it easier, but at least you have that solution. And again, working towards that prior to. Yep. Now on the flip side, it's after the event happens and you lose that deal or that offer. You lose that client because they found a little bit of a better interest rate or lower costs or were misled by something that's may or may not be true. How do you respond? Do you let that ruin your day, or do you just go on to the next, whatever it is you can control?
When that happens to me, I stay angry for about 30 minutes. And then I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. That was never meant to be as one of my clients. And I just accept the fact that I'm not going to win everything. I'm not going to win every deal. I'm not going to win every client. And it's okay.
Yeah. I think personally, I believe that comes because of your experience. You've been through this long enough. I think it's a lot easier to say when you've had the experience and you know that something's going to come down the line. If you're 6 months in the job, a year or two in the job, it's a little bit more impactful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my recovery rate used to be terrible back when I was year 3, 4, 5, even up to year 10. I had one of my coaches talk to me about this and told me that this is the key to success. This is what no one ever talks about. And if you can recover quickly and put it behind you, you will go out and work even harder and get more prospects and have more like leads coming in. This goes for any sales job you're in. You just got to put it behind you quickly.
Well, and again, relating it to the market we're in, you go in and you put in an offer and you lose that offer, to wait another 2, 3, or 4 weeks before going out to see another property is only going to prolong the inevitable. Get back on the horse the next day, see what you can find. It may be, again, it will work out the way it's supposed to. And I promise you, when you do find that property, you're going to be just as happy, if not more.
Well, some people don't even recover. They just go and rent.
And that is, I think, a huge, that's that person that loses the client and isn't productive the rest of the week.
All the time they spent, yes. I mean, that's on both sides. The client got frustrated. Their recovery rate wasn't there. They were like, we're just going to rent. The agent gets frustrated. And then the lender, because there's a thing called lender fatigue and realtor fatigue out there right now, it sets in. It becomes real. So I think if you can recover quickly, so can your clients.
And I think, so 2 things. I want to go 2 different ways. But so first, as you go through this, and I'm sure as you've grown in your ability and in just being in the market or being in the business, you can sniff out some things, which I think helps. I think you have an understanding of when there's a client is totally on board and when a client isn't on board, and obviously address it accordingly. And so the recovery probably is a little bit easier. But what I wanted to talk through, and you mentioned it a little bit in passing, and I don't know if people caught it, what do you do to recover quickly? Because I think that's the key. I think we all know it'd be, oh, well and good, recover quickly. Okay, great. Some people just can't. You can't let it go. So what are some things you do to let it go, to move on to that next thing and not let it bother you and monopolize your time and your efforts?
I mean, first, I talk to people around me that are positive. I think that helps me get my head in a better space. But I go out and try to get a win on top of it. I think the faster you can get a win behind a loss, the faster you're going to forget about that loss. And then it becomes a non-issue at that point. So you have to stay on track with what your day and your schedule looks like and have a process around what your every day looks like. Jump back into what you were doing. Go get a big win for that day.
I love it.
I always finish. It's like when you're at the batting cages. When I'm at the batting cages with my son, we won't quit on where he hits the tee and the ball falls behind him. We'll quit when he hits a ball like up into the fence and it goes over my head and he's happy.
Yeah.
You quit on a win, right? So that's how I always want to finish my day with a big win, some way, shape, or form.
I love that. I think another way, at least personally for me, is removing myself from the situation and understanding and really taking big picture, what am I doing this for? So you kind of mentioned it, taking your son to the batting cages. Me going to, one of my son's hockey games or practices or sporting events, or even just going home and spending time with the family, getting away from the environment in which you're in and surrounding yourself with people that you love and care about and obviously want to be a part of. That's what it's all for. And at the end of the day, it's not going to ruin your life.
Totally. Yeah. I agree with that 100%. The other thing that I do too is if I'm having a bad day or I had something big happen, like yesterday when we were working on that problem.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Well, and this is what I was waiting for. I thought you would say this first. You go and you work out.
I go work out.
Yeah.
That's where I get all my stress out of my body. I work out. I go to the gym. I sweat. I forgot about the whole day and I was like, I'm ready to go the next day.
I think it accomplishes a number of ththings. I think it enables you to get some frustrations out. It allows you to kind of pump. It gets the endorphins going. And afterwards you feel good. You're sore. You're maybe a little bit sweaty and a little bit...
Just let the meathead come out, right?
That's right. That's right.
I just wanted to touch on a couple of things that I think make elite producers or elite salespeople recover quickly. I wrote this down. Number 1, they feel it, and then they move. Disappointment's human. Living there is a choice.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's 100% accurate. There's nothing you can do about it. It's in the past. If you dwell on it, you're only going to ruin it. Move on. Let's see what we can do, whether that's providing a solution for the situation or moving on to the next one, depending on obviously what you're dealing with.
So number 2, they return to the process immediately. So process, that's important. You have to have a process for everything that you do.
It's a whole nother show.
Whole nother episode, but you got to go make calls. You have to follow up. You have to, like we said earlier, go work out. Do something to get your mind off of it that's positive for yourself, that you're going to feel good about. You're going to end the day on a win. I think that's huge, right?
I love it.
Number 3 that I wrote down is they separate identity from outcomes.
Doesn't define you.
Yeah, a bad day is a bad day. We all have them. No one in this universe doesn't have a bad day.
Agreed.
Right?
It's how you recover. Don't overcome it.
Don't let it define who you are. Know that that's going to happen. I see that with the best producers out there. They know they're going to have a bad day. I see Matt Laracy on his post, and he talks about his bad days. He gets fired from clients too. Everybody does, right?
But I think that's part of his process to move on.
Yeah.
To let it out. All right, I'm done.
I'm doing a video on it.
Compartmentalize it.
I'm doing a video on it and talking about it. Number 4 I wrote down is they zoom out. 1 weekend means nothing over 12 months.
Yeah.
So you got I don't know how many weekends, 52 weeks in a year?
Yeah, so 52 weekends basically.
So you had one bad weekend in this market. You still got 51 to go out there and have good ones. Yeah. The key is having more better weekends than bad weekends. And it really comes down to the recovery rate. If you let this market sit in your head, you're going to tell yourself how bad it is. You're going to tell yourself that, hey, I can't my clients keep telling me rates are too high. The market's really tough. I'm not great at these multiple offers. Go work on your skills too. That's another one. We're having an event coming up where that's all we're going to talk about is how to sharpen your skills so that you can be a better agent or lender to help your clients win more, right? That's a huge key is work on your skills. Number 5 is they stay in motion. Momentum heals doubt. Action is therapy in sales.
There you go. So getting back to it, like you said, picking up the phone and ending on a win by making a sales call or calling. Maybe you call. I know it's funny because we've had coaches in the past. We've shared them. A lot of times after a bad call, they'll pick up the phone and call a parent, or they'll call a great client or someone that's going to pump them up and give them that confidence back so they can move on and they can recover.
And there was actually 6 that I wrote down. Number 6 was end the day on a good note.
There you go.
Do something to end positive. That's huge, and that's how I overcome it. So I just thought this was important to talk about because everybody's dealing with it right now in some way, shape, or form. There's so much negativity in the world right now, but just in our jobs, it's hard. And in this market in Chicago, it's really hard, right?
And the bottom line is, and you started with it, those that can overcome it the fastest are going to be the ones that are going to be the most successful.
I agree. So I hope this helped you guys with thinking about the recovery rate. It's really important in sales. It's really important to be at the top of your game. It's really important for your clients because when you're negative or when you have your bad day trickles into bad weeks, your clients feel that too. They can see it right in your eyes. So don't work on something, grab 2 or 3 skills that'll help you recover faster. And I promise you will have a different outlook on this market, your job, everything.
Be more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Please follow us. We're on YouTube at More Than a Mortgage Pod. We're on Spotify at More Than a Mortgage Tom and Mike, or Mike and Tom. I don't know which way it is. And you can find us on Instagram and other social media channels at More Than a Mortgage Pod as well. I think that's our handle. So, but thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions around recovery rate or anything we can do to help you, just DM us. We'll get back to you. Shoot us a message. We're happy to jump on a call and talk through this with you if you need it. So I'm Mike Black.
And I'm Tom Merritt.
And we are
More Than a Mortgage.
All right.